Hi everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? It's kind of late. It's like 12:30 in the evening. In 12:30 in the morning, you might say. Anyhow, I thought we'd work on the teacup again, because we are not far from having it close to being done. So, another day or two and it should be done. I'm squishing my wax together. So, yeah, after a little while it gets a little on the holy side. So, I just take and squish it together and keep using it until it runs out completely. So, anyhow, I hope everyone had a great day, because it's been kind of quiet today. Not a lot going on. So, let me get my glasses so I can see what I'm doing here. And I hope you all enjoyed the first video today. Okay. Yeah. I actually ended up ordering, trying to figure out which way to go with this thing. I actually ended up ordering a couple of diamond paintings from from Amazon, and so they should be in about 3 days, 3 to 4 days. Number 9. Let's see, number 9. That's this one. But anyhow, I'm trying to get this one finished so I can get started on the Easter Bunny that I decided to work on. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on this one tonight and try to get it done. Okay, let me get some light on the subject here. Alrighty. We're working on the V's right now for Victor. And they're kind of like a lavender color. So, yeah, I spent most of the afternoon watching videos. So, caught a couple of lives, and then the rest of them were binge watching certain channels, you know. And retired lazy retired granny was one of them, and then the other one that I was watching was Diamond Grandma. I binge watched on hers. And then I listened to some of Star's music on her music channel. So I've been kind of trying to catch up on things, you know? It is so easy to fall behind when you have so many channels that you've got subscribers and you're trying to keep up with them and all that. Jeez. Sometimes it's just a little hard to do. But that's all right. We'll just keep doing it until we finally catch up. That's all we can do. Yep. Got one there. Just come here. Yeah. All right. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? I know. There it is. There we go. Anyhow, and so we are slowly catching up. Let's put it that way. But you watch, I'll skip a couple of days and then I'll fall right back behind. You know? So, like they say, it is what it is, right? You do the best you can, and that's all you can do. Yeah. Anyhow, so I figured we'd just work on this for a while and make a little bit of a dent in it, right? Or at least try to. Trying to, something's tickling my nose. I think I'm trying to sneeze. And anyhow, I had I sliced up a orange, and I made a toasted cheese and chicken grilled cheese sandwich. Okay, for dinner, because I wasn't really that hungry. And so what I did is I just made a sandwich and left it at that. See if I can get this off of here. Thank you. And I got these clamps on here to keep them from sliding all over the place. And so anyway, so we're gonna try to make a big dent in this painting tonight, or at least try to anyway. Let's put it that way. Yeah, my grandson's out there playing on his computer. He's playing some game that he likes to play. Yeah. So, yeah, I was making out a grocery list for Walmart. I make out a grocery list on my phone, and then when I'm ready, I just send it in and I have them deliver it to the house. It's so much easier. Because, but I think my daughter and I are going to go to Five Below tomorrow. And if she doesn't have to work, let's put it that way. And then we're going to, we might go over to Hobby Lobby tomorrow. I got online and was checking to see if they had any of those bunny rabbits that Miss Southern Belle and KY Philly and Lazy Retired Grandma is working on, or Lazy Retired Granny, sorry about that. And according to their website, it's out of stock. So I said, well, okay. So that's why I went over to Amazon to see if they had something, maybe something similar to it. But I didn't find anything I really liked in the Easter stuff, you know, so. And, but I did find a couple of other paintings that I wanted to get. And one of them is, I think that's one of them. Or did I save it? I don't remember. I think I ordered it. It was Jesus praying. And then another one that I ordered was one they call Whispering Path. And it's put out by Diamond Art Club. They had it marked down from 24 to 19.99, so I grabbed it. And then there was another one that I ordered. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, so I got, I know what it was. It was a group of 30 by 40s. Looks like magical toadstools and mushrooms. And I always liked that, so I ordered that. So I got, and that kit has 3 paintings in it. And it was like $8.99, $9.99, something like that. So anyway, so I ordered both. I've ordered that too. So I've got some fairly nice ones coming in. And so, yeah, but I am staying as far away from Temu as I can when it comes to diamond paintings. I've got more than enough to last me a lifetime from Temu, so yeah. But I do a lot of shopping from Amazon. So I like Amazon stuff. They got some nice stuff. And I've never had an issue with any of theirs. So yeah. And of course I cross stitched. That's on that video. I cross stitched on that printed cross stitch that has the frog. Yeah. And so that was I've been having fun with that one. And then what else did I do today? Not much. Just lazed around mostly. I had a lazy day today. And so anyhow. Yep, my grandson is getting ready to go to bed. He spent the day with his lady friend today. And so he got in kind of a little bit late. He took off fairly early. He was out of here by 10:30 or so, and then he didn't get back until about 12 hours later. Something like that. But he spent the day with his lady friend that he's been hanging with. And that's fine. You know. Yeah, because I think he has to work this weekend. Yeah. His hours are like 12-hour days. So, yeah, he's got to do 12 hours this weekend. I'm looking for more of these is what I'm looking for. They're kind of scattered. But that's okay. We'll get to them. We'll get to it. Yeah. I'm not going to hit every one of them over here. But if I see some as I'm getting ready to put them away, I'll cover them. Yep. Ouch. Alrighty, let's look and see. Alright. Alright, we got a couple more over here. And then we're going to get to another color, I think. There's a group of them right here. And I was looking to see if I had you in screen. But we're doing good. We're doing good. Let's see. Any more? Yep, there's some right here. Yeah. And but if I push it and whatnot, I should be able to have this done in a couple of days if I really, really concentrate on it. So what I'll do is on my videos, I'll put the date to where you can see the date. That way you know how, which ones I've done, which ones you might have already looked at. I'll continue to put the date on them. That way, let's see, any more? I don't see any more. Nope. Okay, I think we got them all. Or as many as we're going to get for right now. So let's go to another color. Come on, get off of there. There we go. That back together. That right there. Now, let's see. How about some S's? We got a bunch of S's. Yeah, that's number 1. I can live with that. These are kind of a funny color red. They're almost like a dark vermilion, maybe. Anyway, to me, it's a funny colored red. Anyhow, let's get to them. And yeah, they're not like the 666, okay? These are a 150, I believe. Yeah, 150. So, anyhow. Yeah, I was sitting here working on this one earlier today. Just humming away. Humming to myself while I was working. What can I say? Yeah. And so anyhow, but I figured we'd try to get some of this done. And if I keep, plugging at it, I will eventually get it done. And then we can move on to the Easter bunny that I'm gonna do. Yeah. Yeah, I looked at a bunch of Easter type diamond paintings on Amazon. Nothing really stood out jumped out at me, said, buy me. So I ended up not getting anything that had Easter eggs or anything like that on it. So, but that's all right. Yeah, I believe Star is going to work on that Trinity lion, where it has the lion, the lamb, and the dove. I think that's the one that Star is going to work on, and then I've got that 30 by 40 rabbit that I'm going to work on. So, yeah. But yeah, I've got a lot of whips and stuff that I'm working on. I think it was Sherry, I think, asked me how many whips did I have out there that I was working on, and I told her it was, I'm guessing, okay, 25 to 30, easy. Yeah, yes, okay. Yeah, I got a lot of whips going on, and I will eventually get to them all. It just takes time, you know. So, yeah. Yeah, it's in the 50s right now. It's 50 degrees right now here in Georgia, which isn't too bad, but I still sit with a blanket over my lap. So that way my legs don't get cold. Fortunately, if my legs and my feet get cold, I get cold all over. And then I can't get warm. So, anyhow. Yeah, I'm finding a bunch of S's in and amongst this other stuff. So, I might as well get them while I can. Yeah. And so anyway, I also watched Miss Linda and her videos today. Yeah, she showed some people things that other folks had done. She does this on Friday. People email her and send her photos. She'll show what everybody else is working on her video, which is pretty cool. And so anyhow, yeah. Yeah, I hope the music's not too loud. I don't think it is, but with the video, it's hard to tell. Yeah, it's one of music on my playlist that I listen to. And and most of it is just instrumental. I don't hardly ever listen to music that's got voices. Once in a while, but most of the time when I'm diamond painting, I usually am listening to instrumental type music. I listen to Beethoven and Bach and Chopin and things like that too. I'm not real impressed with the music they're coming up with today. I'm not real impressed with it. And so I'm very picky about what I listen to. you know. Now, I like the old 70s music. Yeah, but that's the music I listened to growing up, you know. And I'll get on YouTube and I'll, dig up somebody that's produced a playlist of 70s music. And I like listening to that. Yeah. Like, what is it? Like John Denver is one of them. The Oak Ridge Boys, Creedence Clearwater Revival. You know, some of those. Cat Stevens, that kind of thing. You know, the oldies. Mm-hmm. Or what the young people call the oldies. But what can I say? I wish I could take and play some of Star's music on my videos as background. Would love to be able to do that, but I don't want to do that and end up with a copyright problem. So, because she has some beautiful music. Mm-hmm. Well, we're getting there slowly, but we are getting there. We are making some progress. Well, hang on, I gotta get me a bottle of water. Hang on, I'll be right back. Yep, it's a good thing I keep water here in the bedroom. Yeah, we keep bottled water around. And what I'll do is I'll take the bottle of water and I'll grab like 5 or 6 bottles and keep them here in the bedroom. So that way they're easily available. I was just looking at the screen. Well, those colors are just popping, aren't they? Beautiful. Wonder if I can do some multiplacing. Yeah. The best I can do with multiplacing is I do the 3. I can't any more than that, and it's too much. So I stick to either 2 or 3. One or the other. That one. And sometimes it'll pick up 2, sometimes it'll pick up 3. It all depends on how I set it down. There we go. And but yeah, I do the this is about the most I do is, and that's a 3-placer. Yeah. And I don't know how some people, they can do these, 7 and 8, 10 placers all at one go. And I can't do that. I'm lucky to do a 3-placer. excuse me. Yeah. Over there. And I'm picking up these 2 placers. These 2. Whoop. The cops got 1. Come on. There we go. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna get some more wax though. Yeah. Yeah. I admit that multi-placing goes a lot faster than the single placing. But at the same token, it also, to me, it feels like it slows me down quite a bit. I don't know why, but that's just the way I feel about it. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there, little by little. I know I've got you a long distance away from what I'm working on, but if I get you any closer, then I have trouble getting you in the center, and so it's hard to see. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, I didn't even go outside today. I don't know why, I just didn't. You know, get over there. And it wasn't that bad out there. It wasn't too bad. It was in the 70s, mid 70s today. I just didn't get around to going out for some reason. I don't know why. And the girls didn't. They didn't seem to want to go out. So I said, okay. And so I just stayed in the house today. Yeah. There we go. I'm trying to get all the ones that have got 3s sitting there. Oop, get off of there. And what you doing, huh? Is that you, Frankie? Nope, that's Lily. I thought it was Frankie, but it's not. That one's upside down for some reason. Anyhow, and so well, get on up there if you're gonna get up there, Lily. I got this little short table that's right up under the window, and they get to sit up there and look out the window. And Lily and Frankie argue about that spot all the time because both of them like to get up there. But Miss Lily doesn't like to share. Lily, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she's sniffing at something. I don't know. Anyhow, and so Miss Lily don't like to share her space with her sister, so they argue about it a lot. Which is not surprising, not really. Well, that was a good one. That was a pretty good jump, Lily. She jumped all the way to the top of the shelf. Okay. And that was a pretty good distance, too. I'm surprised she didn't knock everything down. And, anyhow, so, yeah, I got this little, it's like a camp table, and it's foldable, but it's real short. And so what I did is I opened it and set it up on this little small cabinet, and it's just enough to get it up above the air conditioner, but yet below the window, below the upper part of the window. And so if I have to run the AC, I can. And yet they still have a place to get up to the window. You know, when they were kittens, they used to be able to sit up on the up along the ledge of where the AC was. But they're not little bitty kittens anymore, so they're gotten too big for that little narrow space. So I had to finagle around and figure something out for them, because they do like to sit and look out the window. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I've got a few more here, and then I think we're done with the S's. Almost done with them. Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Took a while to get to that one, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Mm. We're just about done. Yeah. Like I said, there was a whole bunch of them right in this area. Now they're kind of scattered out. So, that's all right. We'll get to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I think we got them all in this basic. Oh, no, there's one. There's one hiding right there. And, yeah, I think we got them all that we can reach. Let's put it that way. Okay, let's put these away. How much we got? 38 minutes? Okay, we're good. We're good. Making sure I got them all. Alrighty, what's next? Let's see. All right, let's do the letter C, number 8. Number 8. Yeah, that's a kind of like a dark lavender almost. It's not dark purple, but it's kind of like a dark lavender. Yeah. But, yep. Miss Linda was talking about where she lives over in her town. They're having a big shindig on Easter or near or around Easter for the kids in the park. And she was saying that they cooked up about a bunch of eggs for an Easter egg hunt for the kids, and they had something like 60,000 eggs or something. I don't know. It was a lot of eggs. I said, "Whoa." I'll tell you what, they're going to be eating egg salad sandwiches for a long time. But anyway, so she was talking about that. It reminded me of that, what is it, Steel Magnolias, I think, where they had that big Easter egg hunt in the movie. And it had Dolly Parton, um, Sally Field, and I can't remember the other one. You know, it was several ladies anyway. And that's one of my favorite movies. Yeah. And anyhow, so what she was talking about, that's what it reminded me of. Yeah. You don't see those towns doing that anymore like they used to. You know, they used to have a big shindig, on Easter for the kids. And so, and it would be sponsored by the town and uh, the town businesses and whatnot. But that was many, many, many eons ago. They don't do that like they do today. You know? Yeah. But it's fun for the kids, though. You know? So. Need to get back to the old hometown type stuff. You know? This modern day stuff is okay, but, it can't hurt to, visit and go back to some of the old stuff that we used to do with the kids. You know, when our kids were growing up, right, we used to congregate over at my brother's house, and this is when all the kids were still little. And what we would do is we would take and we would have a slew of eggs, okay? And then we'd have an Easter egg hunt. And then we had this gold colored egg. It's a plastic egg. It was gold, right? And it was we called it the money egg. And everybody would contribute whatever they had, and they would put it in that egg, right? And then we would hide that money egg, right? And it was like a special prize for the kids. And and we did that every year. We'd have a money egg, until the kids got too old for it. Now, I don't know if my brother still does that or not with his grandchildren, with the grandkids. I don't know. But I know when his kids were growing up, and mine, and half the neighborhood kids would all congregate over to his house on Easter Sunday morning. for an Easter egg hunt, and the kids really loved it. So I remember one year we had a Halloween thing, right? Because it was getting even back then it was getting to the point it was not safe for the kids to go out, go trick or treating. So what we would do is we would take and we would have what we called a block party for the kids, and we would have all kinds of things going on. We would have a costume judging contest. Which one was the best, the most innovative, with the most imagination. And then the other one was, the cutest costume. And, we just, and so, we had prizes for the kids, And then we had, kind of games and stuff. We had this one where the kids were able to throw darts at this big old target. We had this huge target, and if they whatever they hit is what they got. Most of the time it was just candy. But I remember that year I dressed up as a clown. I looked like Bozo the Clown, And boy, I had every kid in the neighborhood hanging around with me, And but those are some of the things that we used to do back in the day. But unfortunately, people don't do that like they used to. Then on top of that, the prices of the prizes and stuff had gone up so high that we couldn't afford it anymore. And after about 5 or 6 years of doing that, right, we finally had to stop because we could no longer afford it. Even though everybody was contributing, it's just, it was just got too expensive. Between the candy and the food and all the little prizes and stuff, yeah, it got pretty expensive there. And so we ended up having to finally had to give it up because we couldn't afford it anymore. But it was a blast. They would cut off the whole block, and everybody on the block would bring their kids down, and we'd have a blast on Halloween night. And we always thought it was a lot safer that way than it was to have them going out trick-or-treating. They still got candy and they got prizes and they had fun, and it was interesting. But after about 4 or 5 years of doing that, we finally had to give it up. Unfortunately, it just got too expensive. Yeah. But it was fun for the kids while it lasted, Yeah, the kids, and they're not even kids anymore, they're adults now. But they still talk about that every now and then. You'll all get together and they'll talk about, when they were kids and some of the stuff that we did, for the kids. And it was great. It was good. It created a lot of good memories for them. And but yeah, sometimes I wish we could afford to do things like that today, but it's gotten so expensive, and then you have to have special license and things that we didn't have to do. Right? Now you have to have a special license, and you have to, go through the city council and all. I mean, it's crazy. Whereas back then we didn't have to do all that. All the neighbors agreed to let us, basically block off that one little block because it wasn't that long. It was a real small block, and everybody in the neighborhood was invited to come and participate. And so we didn't have an issue. But, nowadays it's a whole different ball game. You know, that's why I kind of miss the old times, the old time, the hometown stuff, you know. Unfortunately, that's a whole different thing now. Yep, we're getting there. A lot of seeds around here, and they're all scattered everywhere. But that's all right. We'll get to them. And but yeah, that's some of the things that we used to do for the holidays. And so yeah, we had now here in Georgia, we have this celebration. It's called Down Home Days, and it has a parade and it has different exhibits. We got because it's here in the South, they have things to look at where it's got like the Confederate displays and stuff. They have where Confederate uniforms and got guys walking around all dressed up like a Confederate soldiers, and it's down home days. What can I say? And then you'd have the horses riding in the parade and all of that good stuff. Yeah. And you had the Lions Club was involved, and it's interesting, and we still got that going on. And then we get certain groups and stuff, music groups. They'll come in and they'll play music. And then what else have we got going on? There's all kinds of stuff going on. A lot of displays, a lot of arts and crafts. A little bit of this, plenty of down home type food. That kind of stuff. And it had a lot of times we'd have the volunteer fire department and the rescue units and all that down there participating in it, So everybody would get involved. It's pretty neat, And it's called Down Home Days in the city of Chickamauga. Mm-hmm. And that's usually May. I think it's May the 1st. I don't remember. I think it's sometime in May. And the only time we skipped it was when the epidemic or whatever broke out, the COVID broke out. It had to be canceled for a couple of years until that was all cleared up. And then, but they're back doing it again. And then in not Chickamauga, but in Chattanooga, they have what's known as River Bend. And they have all kinds of stuff going. See, I've never been to River Bend. I've lived here for 30 years and I've never been to River Bend. One reason is because I don't do well in large crowds. I just don't like being in a crowd of people. And but my grandson, he went one year, and they had this favorite group. I can't remember the name of it. It had an odd name, but anyway, he went to River Bend with some friends, and he had a good old time. They said they had all different kinds of music bands playing and all kinds of good stuff, you know. And that goes on in Chattanooga. Yeah. And that's not that far from where we live, because we live about 25 miles or so, 25, 30 miles south of Chattanooga. So we're just about almost on the state line, but not quite. Yeah. But yeah, during this time of the year, they have a lot of things going on. Now during the winter, there's hardly anything going on because it just gets too cold. Because our winters are cold and they're wet. So yeah, because the winter is basically our rainy season. And because of that, we get a little bit of snow, but mostly it's rain or ice. One or the other. So I didn't realize how many of these we had till I start working on them. But we're slowly getting them. Yeah, I moved here and moved here to North Georgia. What year was it? 1993, I believe. Yeah, I've been here since 93. We moved up here from Florida and bought about 5 acres. We got a 5-acre piece of land and had a house built on it. And so we lived over there for the longest time. Well, then things went kind of wonky, and me and my ex, we ended up splitting up and going our separate ways, which that's not really surprising after what we were together for 29 years, 30 years, and so he went his way and I went mine, kind of thing. And he has since passed away, but I have continued to hang on to my singlehood since we split up. Just not interested. Too much drama, you know. And so, yeah, he passed away, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, he just, well, only thing I can say is, you know, he wasn't a good dad, and he wasn't a really good father. He wasn't a good husband. Let's just put it that way. And after putting up with his shenanigans for so many years, we just sat down one day and decided to split up. You know, that was after my daughter got married and left. And we decided, okay, you go your way and I'm going to go mine. And that's basically how it worked. You know. But it happens like that sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, I married him when I was 20 years old. And when we split up, I was going on 50. I was almost 50. Yeah. We split up in April, and I turned 50 years old in June. So, but sometimes that's just the way it works out. And you just move on. That's all you can do. Yeah. Looks like we got most of the seeds that doesn't have plastic covering it up. Okay, I think we got them. How we doing? Oh, we're over an hour. My goodness. I wasn't planning on going that long. Sorry about that. Sitting there having fun and yapping and whatnot and ran over. All right, well, listen, y'all have a good night. And we will see you probably sometime tomorrow. I'll see if I can try to get this uploaded tonight. We'll see. Depends on if the internet will let me. All right. So, anyway, so I'm just going to get off here. You take care. God bless you. God keep you. Love one another as Jesus loves you. And I love you, but Jesus loves you more. That's Star's famous saying. So y'all have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay? Or later. All right, bye-bye.